Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? I hope everyone's having a great day, fantastic day today, and we have some things to discuss, no doubt. Was doing some Black Friday stuff for a little bit today, and figured nothing was going to happen. It was a Friday. Things were looking pretty clear. We have a game in a few days. What could really happen? And then a bombshell happens, and Derek Barnett gets released or waived, I should say. So he will go through the waiver wire. It's pretty clear to me right now that, I think this has always been on the table to get rid of Barnett, but because I think they've wanted to try to get some type of value for him, which Barnett has really no value at this point. I think he only has like 3 tackles for the season. And as much as I can respect that he hasn't been an idiot or a knucklehead on the field and costing us drives, he was good in that case. But really anything else, he's pretty much been dead weight. The last 2 weeks, he's been a healthy scratch. He was a healthy scratch for the Cowboys game, and he was a healthy scratch for this past week against KC. Really not even a healthy scratch. They said that he had a personal issue, or they were just waiting to see if they were trying to maybe they can't trade him, obviously. I thought Barnett asked for a trade, before the season started. He actually asked for a trade. The Eagles wouldn't give it to him. And, it's been kind of crazy. But to actually think or to realize that they actually got it done is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So we thank him for everything he's done, okay, because I'm not going to be that idiot, that scumbag that's going to be like, oh, he didn't do shit for us, blah, blah, blah. He did a lot for us, okay? Maybe he didn't do a lot for us over a course of time, but his rookie year did a lot for us here. Made some plays in the playoffs for us. The strip sack on Case Keenum, and obviously getting the fumble recovery. The fumble recovery for in the Super Bowl after the Brandon Graham strip sack. So those things do matter. Just like Carson Wentz. I might talk a lot of shit about him, but without him, the Eagles have no Super Bowl, and he really did a lot for us that season. So I have to give respect where respect's due with some players. He was drafted here and he's been here a long time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy. Now, interesting enough, and I want to thank everybody for coming into chat right now. Love everybody for coming in. We got Big Disky, we got Ryan, we got Ryan Rollman. Shout out to Ryan Rollman for he's like my news guy on Twitter. He usually sends me a lot of stuff. So Ryan, much love to you. Definitely find just type in Ryan Rollman on Twitter and you'll find him. The guy keeps me updated with a lot of stuff, even when I'm not on Twitter. If I see a message from him, I know he's giving me some type of news. So I want to thank Ryan for that. Definitely get you on sooner or later, man. It's been kind of crazy. Ross Bryan, what's going on? Hi, can't even say that name right, but I'm glad you're here. Donnie, what's going on, man? We have Frankie in the building. We got House Cat. We got D. Hart Williams, Brandon Howard. What's going on? So I want to know from you guys, how excited are you? So what does this one open roster spot mean? Does this mean that, it's more of a move for Watkins to come back? Most likely. I don't know. There's been a lot of news during practice with Devontae Smith. There's a knee injury or something like that right now, if you guys didn't read. But there's no designation that he's going to be out for Sunday. So we'll see what happens. Quez Watkins coming back into the fold this week. I don't know if Quez is even playing Sunday against the Bills. We already got a game in 2 days, man. This week went by so damn quick. I haven't even got a chance to talk about the Bills, which I will talk about them mostly likely tomorrow. Okay. Definitely a lot on the table here. So the few things that we need to go over, the main thing is, what's this roster spot for? And I think Howie Roseman is ready to pounce on Shaquille Leonard that we've all been really talking about for a while. Leonard was an all-pro linebacker for the Colts. Obviously, Nick Sirianni was there when he was the coordinator, and has been a fantastic player, man. The issue with him literally is from last year. He had 2 surgeries, and then this year, I think he's only played like 70% of the snaps for the Colts. only played 70% of the snaps and has been not being utilized the way that Shaquille Leonard wants the Colts and how to use him. Apparently, there has been some talks between Shaquille Leonard. There was talks between the front office and him and the coaching staff that I think they wanted to part ways and kind of get something done. So they flat out put him on the waiver wire. He was unclaimed because he's got a lot of money owed towards him, and obviously his dead cap number is a lot lower than it was. I think it's like $6 million, but now as reverted to a free agent, this should be very interesting when he's reverted now. Okay. I don't know what the plan is. I know that there's a lot of teams interested. There's probably a few teams interested as of right now. What's going on? Nina says something is happening. Something is happening. Few things that are really weird right now. Few things that are weird. And I'm an idiot because I forgot to upload this shit before. But I'm actually going to put this on the screen because I think it's really important. That's one thing. A few things I think are pretty damn interesting. I don't know, okay, if this is a target here for the Eagles. It's feeling like the Eagles have a lot of interest because I think this is more than a rental for the year. Getting Shaquille Leonard not only can cover, not only is an upgrade, obviously is an upgrade when he gets to 100%, number one, if the Eagles do sign him, it's going to take him a few games. Like, I feel like Kevin Byard is starting to really come into his own right now. It's going to take time. Okay. When Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got to the team last year, it took him like 3-4 games. It took him like 4 games to really get some attention. You know what I mean? A few things. I want to actually put this up because I think it's really important here. These two, this is kind of nuts. I don't know. I have to get the other thing on here. Let me show this because I think this is pretty important. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Is this it? Yeah, I think it is. Let me try to put these two up right now. Let's see if it uploads. Is it this? What is this? Oh, that's old. Sorry. Yeah, so this was one. Now Jennifer Slay had something to say here. She was like, "How he be working, right?" So so everyone's like, "What the hell is going on?" Okay. So then all of a sudden, then there's more news that comes out on this whole entire situation. And apparently, now Kayla Leonard, that is the wife of Shaquille Leonard, they follow each other. You know what I mean? They follow each other on Twitter, which is kind of weird. Now, I don't know when they started following each other, but this is actually pretty, it should be pretty recent. It's just little things like that, which is kind of crazy. Like, why would Jennifer Slay? I mean, she's an Eagle fan at heart because Slay plays on this team. There's no doubt about it. So she said this, and then all of a sudden, all this news came up. People were looking. People were trying to see what's going on, and maybe there's something going on with that. And there's like one more thing, which I thought this one actually might be concrete. If I could bring it up real quick, because I think people. All right, here it is. Sorry, I forgot to upload these today. I know I'm forgetting something for this stream. So it's like, let me see what's going on. If Joe Castro, if you're in the chat, if you want to join up and talk about it, let me know. Here's another thing that's kind of crazy. I'll put this one up too. Or is it? All right, let it load. Now Malik Kawa, right? This guy is actually the agent of Shaquille Leonard, and liked a comment that said "Fly Eagles Fly" on two different on two separate occasions, which is kind of crazy. This is, and I looked it up. This is Shaquille Leonard's agent. So these are like the only few things that I've really, and I need to do a video on this because I think it's really important. Look, something might not happen out of this whole entire situation, but you know what? It is what it is. I think this is obviously a huge. This is a big upgrade for the Eagles if they can get their hands on him. Now, because he's a free agent, it's really up to him where he wants to go. I heard the Cowboys have called about the situation. A bunch of other teams have called. I've heard the Cowboys definitely. But will they make a move? I don't know. Really, it depends on Shaquille and where he wants to go and what's the best spot for him. Okay, because if the Eagles are bringing him in as like a depth piece, I don't know if he's going to play here. You know what I mean? I feel like they should have 3 linebackers on the roster. There's no doubt about that. They should. Okay. Now, the problem is right now is if Quez Watkins comes back from IR, does that mess anything up? I mean, when you're on IR, you're not on the roster technically. When you're on IR, you're not technically on the roster. So it saves a roster spot until that player comes back. With Shaquille Leonard. I'm thinking about Blake Griffin for some weird reason today. I don't know why. An off-the-ball linebacker, okay? Guy, I mean, that's the issue I'm having too, because I feel like with having Leonard on this team, I think this is more of a future move for the Eagles, in my opinion. I don't think this is a rental if they really go get him. Nick knows this player really well, okay? Was a part of the roster, was a part of the coaching staff when he was there. And it's should be interesting, man. I mean, I think I'm right. About that. I don't know if I'm wrong. Past few years. So we'll see what happens. That's really all I have right now on the whole situation. Nothing's been concrete yet, what's been going on, but I want to know from you guys how you feel about the whole situation. Do you think the Eagles should have tried to trade Barnett at this point? Well, not now because it's past the trade deadline, but do you think they should have traded him before the trade deadline, even during the offseason when he was asked to, try to trade or whatever? Latif says, I heard it's between us and the Cowboys. Could be. What's going on, Charles? Ree says, if the Titans keep losing, any chance Henry would be released? No. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Jose Serrano says, could there be a move that's under wraps, like something under the radar? I mean, maybe, but a move would have to be a free agent. I mean, it's not, you can't trade for anybody. So if there's a Ndamukong Suh can always come to the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a high chance of that happening. I mean, I feel like he will sign with any team that's really in the playoffs at this point, but I have to digress a little bit. I can't go too far with it because, Milton Williams probably will not. A few players are not playing this Sunday. Like Milton Williams is going to be out. I thought he had a really good game against KC. Against the run, he was fantastic. And unfortunately, he ran to his own guy when 2 guys were going for a tackle, and that didn't work out. Brad says he will be signed tonight or tomorrow morning. Watch. I feel like something's cooking right now. Something's cooking. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it has to be that. I mean, Leonard gets waived, then he gets through waivers, then the Eagles waive Derek Barnett, and now they're just sitting. And then all this shit that happened. Okay? we seen Leonard's literal agent, okay? Leonard's agent liked a couple of comments that said "Fly Eagles Fly." He liked both of those comments. And I even checked this guy out. I even looked his stuff up. This guy is, I think this is real. I think this is totally real. Okay. Then Jennifer Slay said some stuff today. She was like, "Howie be working?" And she starts laughing, and everybody's like, "What is it? What's going on? Are we signing somebody? Do you know something that we don't know? Does Slay know Leonard, closely? I don't know. It could be a million other things." And then finding out that Kayla Leonard, which is the wife of Shaquille Leonard, apparently Jennifer Slay and her follow each other on Twitter. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. So have they been talking? Does she know something behind the scenes? Because why would she just put this out? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, like a move is already going to be happening. Like she already has an idea that something is going to happen at this moment. You know what I mean? It's something to think about. I have no idea. I'm not a fortune teller. I always say take shit with a grain of salt because you never know what you're going to get. The Eagles are 9-1 right now. They got the Buffalo Bills. A lot going on with that. And, have some injuries this week. We'll see what happens the next, at practice, who's to designation. And obviously, if they sign somebody tomorrow, they're not playing Sunday. So this will be, I hope they sign Leonard. I think if you're not going to put money into this position, you have got to go for a move like this. You've got to do it, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if Nakobe Dean's on IR 2 times, I mean, he's been hurt like 3 times this year. There are some Eagle fans that are done with him. There are some Eagle fans that are kind of like, we know he has something. So it's a lot it's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. Professor Philsworth says probably just a free spot for Quez. That's what I was thinking. But because there's other players not playing, there's other players not playing this Sunday too. Milt Williams isn't playing, so that's another roster spot that's open. Like there's some spots that are open because of concussion protocol with Milton Williams. There's going to be some open spots here. There could be 2 open spots, really, at the end of the day. So Quez is already going to take a spot. That means that there's going to be another spot open because of Derek Barnett being waived. I think, and I don't know, D. Hart Williams says, I believe Leonard's coming. I pause on that. Huge pause. But yes. That's what I'm thinking, Marcus. That's what I'm thinking. I felt like I was gonna do this stream today and just talk about the Bills and other. We can always talk about the other stuff too, but this is really important here because this could change your linebacker core for a long time, depending on the health of Leonard of Leonard and what's been going on with him. 2 surgeries last year. Okay. I don't know how good his health has been this year, but there has been some friction between the Colts coaching staff, the front office, and Shaquille Leonard. And if Leonard comes to this team this year, if he signs with the Eagles and they use him, and I think the only way that he signs here is that if he starts. I think that's the only way it really happens. I could be sounding crazy right now, but who knows? You know what I mean? Brad says Slay's wife said it without saying it. Like, why would, and she always talks to people. Like Slay's wife, she always talks to people on Twitter. I even looked at the comments on it, and she didn't answer nobody. She always talks. Every time she puts out a tweet and somebody says something about something, she always says something back. Mostly 100% of the time, that's what she always does. I mean, maybe she knows something. I'm not really sure, but I feel something is going to happen. That's what it looks like. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with anything. I'm not a reporter. I don't know what's going on the inside. I'm taking what other people have said around the situation right now. Around the situation. Let's see here. Linda Conyers says, I have a great source telling me Leonard is on the fence because of relationships with players he has on Dallas, but strong chance to sign with the Birds from the Sirianni Connect. Interesting. So, well, he's got to make up his. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that off. He's got to make up his mind on whether he's going to be there for better teammates that he knows, or he really wants to be or have a value somewhere. But what if he's got a starting spot in Dallas? I mean, that's got to be like the main thing. Like if he has a starting spot over a better team where he could be more of a role player or more of a backup for this year, I don't think he wants to be a backup. I'd be shocked if that's the case. I mean, I don't know, because the guy could be the green dot for this team. I mean, since Nakobe Dean is out right now, he could take over the calls, and it's going to take a few weeks. So the number one thing right now is that the Eagles have to get number one seed. That's the playoffs. The NFC has to run through Philadelphia, run through the link. That's the most important thing that's got to happen. Number one, get the number one seed. Number two, I do not want to run into that Giants game, the first Giants game, and having to play our starters for a full entire game on that field. You saw what happened to Miami today. That MetLife field is not treating everybody too kindly right now. It's not good. It's not good at all. There's 274 people in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Thank you so much, everybody. We got a super chat from James Odell. Thank you so much, man. It says, this team needs the trophy. No respect for being 9-1 again. Love the channel. Go Bird. I appreciate it, James. Yeah, dude, like, we got to get it this year, man. We got to. Can't fall flat. I pissed some Cowboy fans off yesterday, and it worked because it always does. I went through the number one seed, the whole thing yesterday on what was going on. And I got to say, like, as of right now, when it comes to, the number one seed, it's opened up a lot more now. Okay. The good things that have happened to the Eagles so far regarding the number one seed is that when the 49ers didn't have, didn't have their left tackle, they didn't have Deebo Samuel for 3 weeks, and they lost like 3 games straight. So that really helped the Eagles a lot. Number two, Detroit losing the other day really helped the Eagles tremendously. It really did. The Lions have an easy schedule. It's a very easy schedule. I think the toughest teams they have, at least I can think that they could be beaten by. We'll see. But I know they still have the Cowboys. I know they got to play the Vikings 2 times. Okay, they played the Packers the other day and they lost. I mean, it got back into a close game, but it was way too late. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Appreciate the super chat though. Mr. Mister says, isn't the waiver wire and aren't we last? No, it's done. He went through the waiver wire already and no one picked him up. That's why the Eagles are like, yes, now we could finally try. They weren't going to. So really, when you look at it, let me not spill my drink on my computer because I'll be pissed off. So if you look at Shaquille Leonard, okay, and these are the numbers going into this season. And I think he's still on contract for like another couple years. Like he still is on contract. Let's see. I don't know why I can't. Oh, I put in the wrong thing. So his numbers, yeah, so his cap charge this year is $19.9 million. But obviously, 11 weeks in, that number is going to be a lot lower. Okay. So apparently it's like 6 million. I don't know how much it is. People were telling me it was like $6-7 million. His dead cap was, which isn't bad. He got paid a lot too. So that's a whole nother thing. But I think he still has like another year or two left. I think he has another year left on his contract. He's got the rest of this year, and I think he's got next year as well. His cap hit for 24 is $8 million, which isn't that bad. But if the Eagles actually want to do some homework here, like a lot of teams are doing homework on him. Okay, so $6 million really isn't that bad, but for $6 million in dead cap, they really need to see like, hey, like, what is he going to start? Like as he, they sign him tomorrow and they can get him on an entire week. You know what I mean? So Nakobe Dean's not coming back next week. So they'll have to make a decision because they're not keeping 4 linebackers on the roster dressing up on game day. It's not going to happen. I mean, I am very grateful for Nicholas Morrow and very grateful for Zach Cunningham because I think they're doing a pretty good job. I know the scheme limits us from doing so many things, and from watching the all 22 every single week and what Desai's trying to do and blitzing on third down. I mean, he blitzed a lot on third down against KC. There's no doubt about it. I like these linebackers to play more downhill at times. The coverage isn't perfect with these linebackers, but you know what? Like, they're doing enough. You have a good defense. You have 2 really good defensive lines that could start for NFL rosters right now. I mean, you're pretty damn good right now when it comes to the trenches. And obviously the secondary is picked on. We know that they give up a lot of the underneath stuff from what they play, but they do play man on man. And sometimes, hopefully they'll rush more than 4 guys. They'll rush 5 guys if they have to at times. So it's good. Kevin Byard played fantastic. Reed Blankenship was a tackling machine against KC, and he was a good one of the main reasons why a lot of these didn't turn to even much larger chunk plays, especially from the run game. Because really, at the end of the day, KC owned us in the trenches for like almost 3 quarters. I mean, they really did. They ran on us. They did a pretty good job with Allaire and Pacheco and some of these other guys. I mean, I thought they did a good job on that. So it's not an easy team to beat in Arrowhead. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Who would have known? Brad Wright says Desai held Dallas to 6 points second half, Dolphins to 0 after 17 third quarter on, and shut out Rams and KC in second halves on the road. Dude, that's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's the hardest thing to do, especially this past week when I thought this team is resilient, man. The Cowboys game, they showed a lot of resilience. This KC game, this team is turning into what the Patriots used to do when they were down with Tom Brady was there, when they were down in so many games and they would break your heart at the end. This team is like a team that trails at times, and the adjustments that they make, and it just works. And giving Jalen Hurts more control of the offense has helped tremendously. The Devontae Smith, the deep catch going to the 1-yard line, that was an audible. That was a readout. That was a play that Jalen Hurts got out of whatever BrianJohnson had in there, saw something, and did a good job there. So I think it was there was a linebacker and a safety lined up on the left side in front of Devontae Smith, and pretty much one of them, I think the linebacker was going to go in there and get after Jalen Hurts, which Jalen Hurts had enough time to match Devontae Smith up on a safety, and that was pretty much it. It's kind of crazy, man. Giles says he's a free agent now. We went through waiver wire. Yeah. Yep. Trey265 says that cap number only mattered if he was claimed because then you're responsible for the contract. Since he cleared, he's a free agent, meaning he could sign a new vet minimum deal. All right, so that changes. So I don't know all the rules to that. It's especially when you're coming off of a big contract for a team. When you actually get waived from a big contract, I guess things do change. You don't see big contracts from players getting waived with big contracts behind them. You don't normally see that a lot. But in this case, I guess, because I don't know the rules when it comes to bigger contracts. Like, what if you get waived and you get picked up. Like, how much does the contract change? Is it the same money, same dead cap? Is it, you know what I mean? So obviously 11 weeks in, that contract is going to change. The cap number, his money, because obviously the Colts have paid him for the past 11 weeks, so that money is going to go down, which another team will take over. Or, and I should say, his dead cap number will be a lot more less this year. So I guess it makes more sense. Mr. Mishra says, get Quez and a linebacker. Why not? Make sense. I think we've been missing Quez Watkins a lot, but the problem I have right now is Quez Watkins going to be a new Quez Watkins? Is he going to be consistent? Is Jalen Hurts is there a trust issue between Jalen Hurts and Quez? Remember in that Rams game when Quez was open in the back of the end zone, he threw to Devontae Smith double covered on the right side of the end zone, and Quez Watkins was wide open. Kind of made me a little nervous a little bit. You know, Dank says they held Miami to 0 points in the second half. The 17 came after a pick six. Right. Yeah, I mean, you held them to 0 points. I mean, just great, man. KC got shut down in the second half. Dude, who does this? Like, who does this, dude? I don't even know who does this. The Astropologist says, do y'all think we need another backup defensive end since Derek got waived? I don't think so. I really don't think so, to be honest. I think we're okay because you know what? Nolan Smith, I feel like Nolan Smith, they need to I think they need to do more cross. I don't know. He needs to bulk up a little bit more. I mean, he hasn't really done much of anything this year. But you guys got to remember, like Nolan Smith dealt with that injury in the offseason. Then it took him time to get back. He was playing special teams mostly. I think he had I don't know what. I had the snap count. I have it in my phone somewhere because I know I saved it. The snap count for Nolan Smith, it was pretty high. It wasn't bad. It was like 65 to 75%. It was a lot. It wasn't bad. So he got a lot of snaps, but we're just not seeing much production. But I think with Nolan Smith is what they did with him in Georgia. I think they need to put him as a Sam linebacker. It might not be this year. They might, wait. They're not going to do too much with him now, but I feel like they're going to have to cross-train him a little bit. I think you got to have as many linebackers as possible and moving pieces around. I think Brandon Graham's having a good year. I think, as much as I thought, some of these guys are getting held like crazy on this defensive line. Josh Sweat's having a fantastic year. I thought he got held a lot. Hassan Reddick is just hunting, man. I mean, Hassan Reddick, I thought got held in that KC game so many times, and he had a hit to the helmet on one. He actually got hit right in the face on one play. He was calling for a flag as well, which I saw that in broad daylight. Which is kind of nuts. Drew said, but also got completely cooked by Commanders twice and others. Chris says, living in Western New York and watch many of the Bills games, all the Eagles have to do is play their game, not turn the ball over, and let Allen make the key mistake and always does, and Birds win. Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen I think he's got the highest picks. I think he's thrown the highest picks in the league right now, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't care about the stats of that because Josh Allen can still beat you with his arm and he can beat you with his legs. He is going to scramble like crazy, okay? But I feel like with some pressure on him, because Mahomes made some really good throws in that game. Remember that all-out blitz we had on third down and to Watson on the left sideline? I mean, that was a great pass. That was a really, really good pass, man. I was like, damn, this is crazy, dude. I mean, just insane. And still got it done. Still got that shit done. With Josh Allen, I feel like, we got to figure out some of the injuries they have too. I mean, I think we match up really well offensively. I think we match up very well. I mean, they got Rasul Douglas as a starting corner right now. Tre'Davious White out for the season. Milano at linebacker out for the season. They got some. McDermott's gonna. They're gonna bring the heat. They're gonna bring the heat on defense. There's no doubt about it. But there's some big mismatches there between wide receiver and their DBs. You just got to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? People are making a big deal out of AJ Brown not having a big game. Like he had 8 yards, or more, whatever. He had more than that, or whatever it was. It wasn't much, but that's why you had Devontae Smith. You got 2 number 1 receivers on your roster right now. You know what I mean? So Frank says Indy has to pay whatever the rest of, so he gets a $2 million 1-year contract. Indy pays the other 4 is left over. Yeah, I know. I don't know all these other rules when it comes to big contracts coming off waivers. That's what I don't know. D Hart says if Bills do blitz that often, that'll be predictable. If they are the stupid, if they are that stupid, Eagles will eat them alive. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'm not a big fan of right now with the Eagles is like every third down, they like to run with Jalen Hurts to do this QB draw like every time. And that kind of annoys me. I know they ended up getting a touchdown out of it once. Even when, Travis Kelce, man, he fumbles the damn football. Travis Kelce had a really bad game against the Eagles. I mean, he did nothing that whole entire game. He had a drop and he had a fumble, a crucial fumble. I mean, no joke. I mean, for good defense and what they did. Kevin Byard had a pick, and then obviously the fumble was huge. Bradley Roby just punched the ball out, which was great. Good tackle by Zach Cunningham too. And then they run 2 screen passes, like 2 shitty screen passes, one to the right, one to the left, and then they run a QB draw on 3rd and long. Stupid shit like that annoys me. It really annoys me. Can't stand that sometimes. You know what I mean? Matt says, so glad Barnett is gone. Happy the Lions finally lost another game on Thanksgiving, but we still got to continue to handle our business in the end, starting with Bills Sunday. Yeah. I mean, look, you're trying to get through 3 more weeks, realistically. That's what you're trying. You're trying to get through the Bills, the 49ers, the Cowboys. You get through 3 of those games. And I feel like, I don't know, dude. I feel like if really going into the KC game, I felt like if they were able to beat KC, they can run the table. That game worried me a lot. I mean, really, just think about it. If the Eagles didn't overlook the Jets, and just sat out so many players that game, it's going to be interesting. So Richie MC says, Avonte Maddox watch. This is really interesting. So Avonte Maddox was actually at practice. Okay, obviously not in pads, but he was starting to stretch with the team. Okay. That looked really good. There is a good chance that Maddox could be back. There is an even greater chance we can have Dallas Goedert back early. There was news that came out today that Dallas Goedert is healing and doing a lot more better than everyone thought. Goddard said that he's doing a lot better than he thought he was. Sirianni didn't put him on IR, okay? Because he knew he was going to be back. And that's great. I mean, you could have him back. You're going to have him by the Cowboys game. You're going to have Goddard back by the Cowboys game, but you're going to have Goddard at least back. I mean, he could be back by San Francisco. I mean, we need him. I mean, we definitely do. There's so much more the Eagles can do. BrianJohnson, I'm not going to say he's been that creative, but he's done some things that are pretty. He's had Boston Scott and DeAndre Swift on the field. It's the double, those 2 running back sets. I really do like. I forgot the pony formation, whatever it was called. Those were pretty damn good, I got to say. Barely used Kenneth Gainwell. They're starting to, Gainwell had a few snaps, but and Penny, obviously, the Eagles just don't like him. What I've realized about Rashad Penny this year, especially you're coming off a bye, second half of the season, Rashad Penny gets no snaps. It's already telling you right now that they just have I don't think they think he's good enough. I mean, that's, it's crazy. McAway says, hope Dallas comes back 100% because we need him. We need him to win it all. I get it, man. We'll have him back. Hubby215 says, do you think Leonard is a lock now that we cut Barnett? There's a good chance. There's a really good chance. Because if Quez is coming back and there's other players that aren't going to be on the active roster this week to play and dress up for the Bills, and Milton Williams is definitely one of those players. Justin Evans is not going to be playing either. Justin Evans, he got activated for the window, but I guess he wasn't ready this week. I guess they're going to give him another week most likely. So, we'll see. We'll see. But Josh says, Joey, can I get it? Oh, yeah, definitely, dude. I'll do it up. Antoine Barnes says, realistically, the only competition in this gauntlet is San Fran. And honestly, with the proper defensive game plan, we can win the rest of these games. And that game is in Philadelphia, which is great. And honestly, I wouldn't even cared. I mean, really, after watching them, going to Arrowhead and being KC, guys, you don't realize how big of a win that is. Now, the Eagles don't get much respect out of that because all they're saying is, oh, well, if the KC didn't drop every catch and blah, 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 and, the touchdown to Scanling, whatever downfield that he dropped, KC went into that game with 17 drops. The defense has really been carrying KC for their mistakes. Okay, that's the truth. Eric Bieniemy not being there has made that team a big difference. They're still very good and still a Super Bowl contender, but it has definitely changed. Matt Nagy has not really, produced the same as he did of what Eric Bieniemy was doing over there. You know what I mean? Formerly known as, I'm hoping the Eagles can rest starters the week or last two. Yeah, I do not want to play at MetLife. Okay. If the Eagles lock number one seed before they hit the Giants, okay, before they get to that game, then all they have to do is play certain players for a quarter or a half. I wouldn't go crazy those last 3 weeks. They could do a lot. Last year, they could have had the number one seed a lot earlier, but Jalen Hurts got hurt in that Chicago Bears game, and then we were stuck with Gardner Minshew for a couple weeks, and we couldn't win it. All we had to get was one more win, and we could have locked it up a lot earlier. Could have rested guys a lot earlier, but unfortunately, we overused Jalen Hurts and the run game with him, and he ended up getting hurt. And Jalen Hurts looked a lot healthy. He looked a lot more healthy coming off that bye. I'm not going to lie. He looked a lot more healthy. He looked a lot better. He looked a little bit faster. I still don't think Jalen Hurts is 100% at all. So, Aggie Pride for Life says, keep thinking San Francisco is your only competition. Well, the Cowboys didn't beat them, so it's definitely not the Cowboys. I look 7-2. The Cowboys are 7-2 against opponents under 500. Padding stats, driving up the score late in the game when people put their backups in. It's a disaster, dude. It's a disaster. Trey says the first Giants game is in Philly, Joey. That second game is at MetLife is the one you want to avoid. All right, I didn't know that. I forgot. So, all right, well, that's good. That's good. So that makes me feel a lot better than hitting that Giants game. So, I think are we in Arizona? I forgot. I forgot where we're at. Jose Round says, for some crazy reason, I'm thinking that our secondary will finally come together and play the way they should be. Yeah, I feel like when you when you kept going back and forth and switching nickel corners out left and right, when Avonte Maddox and Zach McPherson got hurt and you had to keep doing that every single week, man, you can't have a hot hand in the game. Then Roby gets signed. Roby gets hurt, not even a week, maybe not even a week on the team. Really the Rams game, and it had the shoulder injury, and he was out. Then they had to really depend on Sidney Brown. They had to cross-train him after the Kevin Byard signing, and he wasn't playing fantastic at times, and Eli Ricks wasn't really playing good either. Played good in that Miami. Trey says Cardinals is a home game. Gannon has to come back. All right, so yeah, so they have two. So they have the Giants and Arizona are 2 home games, and then obviously the last game that we shouldn't really worry about too much. Thanks says who was the one saying the secondary would be better with Roby returning? I don't know. I think a lot of people were saying that. I figured it would be better, but because of the scheme and how they play some of these guys, I didn't know how much better it was going to be. But I mean, he made a great play. I mean, he stripped the ball, he punched the ball out from Travis Kelce against KC. I mean, he did a good job. I mean, the more that they're playing together without guys switching positions and new guys coming into the fold, it really does help. Antoine says the only time the Cowboys generally believe themselves is when they beat bad teams. They even struggled in the first half of Carolina. Dude, like they think because they're scoring over 30, 40 points a game against bad teams that, oh, well, you guys trail every single game. We don't need to trail. We just we just do big leads. But unfortunately, they didn't do that to us. Deron Bland, like these little specific statistics. Like, look, AJ Brown had 6 games with 125 plus yards. But yeah, it's great. It's great to see that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's not going to win us a championship. I mean, obviously, like having a receiver that does that every game, you should win football games. But at the end of the day, like we've seen this shit before. Teams that have these specific stats, these like for players, they don't win championships. Like these are just awards, and some are very good, you know. I remember Trevon Diggs had double-digit interceptions a few years ago, and they did. It does nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It means good for the player and congratulations, and that's it. But when it comes to winning that doesn't help you win championships. I mean, it's just a stat. That's all it is. Formerly known as JoJo says, take out San Fran and Dallas and it'll be a wrap. I agree. I totally agree. Oh, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong for that, dude. Actually, bring the same energy at AT&T. We'll send you home on 2-game skid. You'll not beating us, our San Fran. All right. Well, you guys say that every single week. Like I'm waiting for you guys to prove yourselves. Like I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed. I had so many Cowboy fans I had so many Cowboy fans literally in the chat. I mean, nothing. I'm not afraid. Like it doesn't. I don't care if the Cowboys are undefeated at home or whatever. I do not care. It doesn't matter, dude. Every week it's the same shit. It's the same crap. You're gonna lose against this team. Oh, you're not gonna. You're gonna lose against this team. Doesn't matter. It's crazy. Um, Rocksteady says, "Are you seriously considering giving no one more reps?" I mean, somebody. I mean, he has to have more reps now. I mean, who else? I mean, they could always monitor it. They can always give like Reddick more snaps. They can give Josh Sweat more and keep maybe keep Nolan Smith at like 60 to 70% if that's what they want to do. I mean, but when you have a man down, everyone's going to have more reps now. Or if they specifically want Reddick on the field all the time, or it just depends. Depends how they want to do it. Depends on the matchups, what team we're playing. You know, fucking Christ. A Stack says, like you, Joey, Kevin Byard is going to get better with time. I totally agree. I totally agree. Vermonta Williams says, I meant good teams. Dak is 22 and 25 against winning teams. Don said the Chiefs were once undefeated in Arrowhead in November. Oh yeah, no, that's true too, man. So yeah, that's realistic too. Like no one has ever beat the Chiefs in November, ever. This is the first time they've lost a game in November. Kind of crazy. I totally forgot about that, actually. So see, Dallas Stan thinks every player is a Hall of Fame player and complained Dak doesn't have enough. I had a comment. I had an actual comment the other day. I think it was so funny. I got to read this. I had a comment from a Cowboys fan the other day. I read this and I laughed. This guy said, bro, the Cowboys will make history. Dak Prescott, he wrote a lot here. Dak Prescott will win league MVP and cornerback DeRon Bland will win DPOY. Okay, Defensive Player of the Year. Bland have caught more touchdown passes than Devontae Smith and just one behind A.J. Brown. Didn't A.J.'s streak come to an end against Bland and company? Dak numbers are ahead of Hurts considering he didn't play in the fourth quarter against the Giants or Carolina. Jalen Hurts haven't had a luxury even against bad teams like the Commanders, New England Rams, and the Jets. Dallas ain't used to playing in nail biters against inferior teams like the Eagles. The only thing anyone with common sense should have learned the Eagles win against the Chiefs is that Eagles' weakness is their piss-poor secondary, and they were slightly better than the Chiefs' weakness, which is their JUCO receivers. Mahomes could have escaped the pocket and ran 70 yards downfield and handed number 11 the ball in the end zone and still would have dropped it. Dude, it's crazy, bro. I mean, that's just crazy. That's crazy, dude. I mean, seriously, dude, like already Dak is an MVP. I don't even care, dude. It's so I feel like I'm talking to 13-year-olds. Like, not even kidding. Can you guys imagine, like, AJ Brown doesn't have a game over 100 yards, and people are saying, like, he got, because AJ Brown didn't have the big game against the Cowboys, it means that he's a horrible receiver and he got shut down by Bland. But Bland got burnt by Devontae Smith. Bland got torched in that game. Bland was playing really good before that Eagles game. Then he did nothing against the Eagles. And then after he played the Eagles, the cupcake schedule started with 3 teams: the Giants, the Panthers, and obviously the last team they played yesterday in Washington. I had to fucking remember who the hell they played yesterday. It's crazy. Yo, Joe, what's going on, dude? Hope you're having a good day, man. What's up? Rogue said, I think this is how Howie Roseman being really smart. It's like a trade with the Colts. I wonder if Barnett will go to the Colts and Leonard to the Eagles. Kind of a sneaky deal. Well, you can't make any trades. So, or like a sneaky deal, like, hey, we're gonna put him on waivers. If he gets off waivers, you'll have it. I don't know. I mean, I doubt that's the case, but Bobby says, what up, Joey? Thanks for keeping it real. Always. I will never fucking change for anybody, dude. I will be me till I fucking die. In that case, we'll go for CD. I don't hate CD. I think CD is a great receiver. I think he's great. But like, there's these games where every time Dallas plays a bad team, every time they play a bad team, Brandon Cooks has a big game. Ferguson has a big game. This other running back, I don't even know what his name is. Tony Pollard's running the ball so well. Every time they play a bad team, everyone gets involved. Look at this Mike McCarthy offense. Look how many, oh my God, receivers are wide open. We have to get Turpin more involved. Oh my God, look at him. Like, it's just crazy, dude. The issue that they're going to have is when it comes to putting the game on Dak Prescott, it's going to be, when that defense can't produce, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. Stick 94 super chat. Thanks so much, man. Dallas only beats teams under 500. They talk so much. They'll disappear again when we beat them at Dallas or when they choke in the playoffs. It's true. I'm not going to say they're going to choke, but it's history is just repeating itself. 8 years down the line with one quarterback that's done nothing. Philly D says, I appreciate the super chat, by the way. Philly D said, I'll give credit to Bland, but saying he's Deion Sanders delusional, saying Parsons is ultimately delusional. Dak had the Hall of Fame career. It's funny, dude, because look what happens now. Like, they want to reward their players with padded stats. Like, look at Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons gets his statistics for all the bad teams that he plays. They all do. They all benefit off of the same shit. They all benefit in every way. It's kind of nuts. DR says, would it be funny if Barnett ends up in Indy? That would be kind of funny. Rockstace 1-3 says the off-ball zone would work if we send 5 instead of 4. Well, here's the thing that pisses me off. Like, if you're like, if a team has 2nd and long, 3rd and long, I'm talking like 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, something like that, 3rd and 18. Why not send 5? I feel like he just sends 4, and you're, giving up a big play a lot easier that way. I feel like if you had a chance there, I don't know. I feel like he should. Sometimes he puts too much into the 4-man pass rush, way too much. At least if you send a 5th, you have a bigger chance of them throwing it real quick where they can't get an 18-yard completion, 17-yard completion, whatever the down is. Phil D said, you literally can see Dak's demeanor change when the game is on the line. It's true because he's never in those moments. When you're not in a moment like that in a full season, the first time he was in a moment like that was against Arizona, failed. Then they played San Francisco. And when a team starts beating Dallas by a couple touchdowns, he starts to get pass happy and he starts to make mistakes. That's what he does. He does that all the time. So Greg says, why didn't the Eagles do the same against those bad teams? Why didn't they do the same against those? What? The same as in what? I don't get it. What does that mean? Both teams, so what? Anybody the Cowboys face, the Eagles face, they both beat them, so I don't get what you mean. You mean scoring over 40, 30, 40, 50 points on teams? What does that even matter, dude? It doesn't. It means absolutely nothing. I don't know what that even means. The Eagles aren't even playing to their full potential. Like, the Eagles aren't even playing perfect football right now, like, at all. They're breaking hearts around the league, breaking hearts. Max says Brian Burns next year. Yeah, I feel like, dude, I have a good feeling that Brian Burns will be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. I really do. I put a tweet up probably like a few weeks ago. I guess there was some Brian Burns news or something, and I think Brian Burns will be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. I do. I think he'll definitely be a target for the Eagles. No joke. Rogue says Dallas is just running up their stats on bad teams. They will not have any awards. They will lose and choke the whole year, especially against winning teams. Sorry, I didn't miss the super chat. Antoine Barnes, the super chat, says, you think Gann has done AZ after the season? I think so. Maybe it depends on how many games Kyler Murray can get out of his back pocket, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it could be what it is. K-Rob says, appreciate the super chat, by the way. Says K-Rob says, I've been saying Dak has been padding his stats for years, but they forget how god-awful it looks against contending teams. Let's switch the head coach. Let's switch the offensive coordinator. Let's switch everything else besides the number one problem. Philly D says Dak couldn't get a first down to the second half in San Fran. Yeah, I'm telling you. Boss said, I just watched a choker firsthand for about 10 years here in McNabb. I know a choker when I see one, and it's Dak Prescott, no doubt. I get it. Matt says winning in style means jack shit, especially if it's against bad teams. You can't do it against good teams. They don't see it. They see it as because we're scoring more points, because we're scoring 30, 40 plus points a game. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter who they face. Because if the Cowboys and Eagles face the same opponent this year and the Cowboys score more points, it means that they're better than us because they scored. They did this shit last year. They did the same shit last year. The same shit they did last year. You know what I mean? All they care about is the division crown, bro. That's all they care about. All they care about is just getting the division crown. That's all it is. And all they care about is the Eagles losing every single week. That's it. They care about the Eagles losing every single week because they want to walk into an NFC East crown. I mean, that's all they want to do. Ratchy Boy TV says, new OC, new DC, new safety, new linebackers, new defensive linemen, still 9-1. It's crazy, dude. No teams do this. I mean, just think about it. Like, just one loss for the season. I mean, it's just crazy, dude. No team comes out of a Super Bowl, whether you win a Super Bowl or lose a Super Bowl, no team comes out of that being 9-1. Two new coordinators. Something's obviously right with this team. Nobody sees that, though. You know what I mean? Yo, Lions Den, what's going on, dude? He said if we win 2 more games, we're in the playoffs. I feel like you need 2 more and you're good. You might need 3. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The Lions losing was huge. I mean, we're going to be in the playoffs regardless, but I want that number 1 seed. I don't give a shit. Like I want these playoffs running through Philadelphia. I want it. I want it badly, dude. If the Eagles get, I'm not saying they can't win on the road, but if the Eagles get the number 1 seed, I'm telling you right now, like nobody's beating us in Philly. It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't give a shit. Matt says too many division NFC's titles and all mean nothing if you can't win it in the end. Yeah, I mean, look, like last year I didn't expect her. Like, look, last year I'll be completely honest. I've said it a million times. Last year was like Hurts's. They took a chance on Hurts and they said, you know what? Let's put weapons around him. Let's put more weapons around him. Let's pay some money. Let's give this a shot because they had a lot of belief in Jalen Hurts last year. I said last year, if the Eagles last offseason in 22, okay, I said, oh, well, if the Eagles can at least win a playoff game or at least get to the playoffs and can at least win a playoff game, we're heading in the right direction. You know, like I didn't know what was going to happen. Greg said I'm a Cowboys fan, but I get my info from Eagles YouTubers. You get your info. You get your info from YouTubers. No, not all of us are right. I'm not always right about things. I don't know what that even means. What info? We all like talking. We all like talking bullshit. Linda says the Philadelphia Eagles are built for adversity. From the commitment of the owner, the GM, the QB, and the players, no matter score, always feel like you got a chance. It's crazy, and you are 100% right on that. It really started with because there was a lot of rumors back like 4 years ago. I'll say probably, yeah, I would say 4 years ago when they were firing Doug, they were going to a different direction. And 3 years ago, I mean, when you start drafting well and you give Howie Roseman, see, we didn't realize this because Howie Roseman had his hands tied, and I know he was, whether it was Andy Weidel that was in his way when he was drafting, whether it was Jeffrey Lurie being in the way of some of these picks in the draft or whatever. Like, I feel like there's, I don't know what's been going on the last few years, but whatever's been happening has been working, Antoine Barnes says the past 2 seasons we've shown beating us in the playoffs at home is almost impossible. Now it really is. It really is impossible. I mean, Go to a game in Philadelphia. I mean, just it's crazy. It gets teams nervous, man. Kay Robinson says they just care about being the NFC East teams and winning the division. Pad stats along the way in the season of success for them. Yeah, it's that's how they are. This is probably the year I've made the most Cowboy videos. And I never talk about the Cowboys ever. But because they've been so annoying this year, like they are every year. And the thing is, like, I talk about stats sometimes because that's all they come at me with stats. Most of the time, that's all it is. She said they will be wearing the Kelly Green. Yeah, so this is the last week, man. Kelly Green's, you ain't losing in Kelly Green's at home. It ain't happening. You know what I mean? The Cowboys are so good, they're getting people fired. Yeah, the Eagles are so good, the Commanders got rid of 2 of their best players. How about that? How about that? I mean, I think the Commanders fired the wrong guy, but that's just me. And it's not Eric Bieniemy that needs to be fired. It's literally the head coach that needs to be fired. I think Ron Rivera needs to get fired. I think he 100% needs to get fired. I think they need definitely a change. I don't understand they just got him not too long ago, but they definitely need a change, no doubt. Philly 416 says it all starts with Lurie. The Eagles were in cap hell. The owner's the best owner in professional sports, period. I totally agree. Matt says, remember when everyone was wanting to trade for a QB draft a QB last year? I kept saying give Hurts at least one more year to see what he does. And if he's our guy, great. If not, it is what it is. Yeah, that's how I was. I want to give Hurts like a chance with a full offseason with the Eagles as a starter, and just giving him his due and giving him like another big receiver to throw to. And obviously it worked out. It totally worked out. Philly D says, thank God every day Wilson rejected the trade. Imagine that, dude. Imagine what would have happened if the Eagles traded for Russell Wilson. Because it was going to happen. All Russell had to say was sure, and the Eagles would have been screwed for years. Juan says the Eagles got the Titans GM fired. Oh, yeah, right after that game? Oh, yeah. But I said the Cowboys fans just don't want to face the facts. Since 2000, if you compare us to them, no. I mean, it's playoff wins. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but it's night and day. The last 25 years, the Eagles have been more relevant. I mean, simple as that. Fly Eagles Fly 23 says, Joey, I think Leonard could play defensive end. I think you could line him up, and I mean, he could stalk. I mean, he could line up and shoot the gap really well. I mean, he's powerful, man. He's powerful. He's got a lot of speed. He's got really good get off, explosiveness. No, Leonard's good, man. I mean, he's 100%. If the Eagles use him the right way, I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane. For the people that weren't here earlier in the stream, the 324 in the chat, appreciate everybody being here. Guys haven't subscribe to the channel, like the stream if you guys haven't, like the stream up like crazy. If you guys haven't, I didn't realize there's gonna be a lot of people in here today, but I guess with all the news, people are very excited. And trust me, I was doing some Black Friday shopping. I was at the mall. I had to get a few things, and I had to like the news dropped when I was doing some stuff, and I was like, man, of course I'm not home when this happens. So I was like, screw it. Let's do something here. But here's the news. Okay. Here's the news. So for people that weren't here earlier, so off waivers, there's a lot of rumors going on right now that the Eagles have a lot of interest, a lot of interest. And Adam Schefter put out the news that the Eagles are looking into the situation right now with Shaquille Leonard. A few things, okay? Number one, it looks like the agent of Shaquille Leonard liked a couple of comments that said "Fly Eagles Fly," and Maki Kiwa is an actual agent of Leonard in general. The second thing that happened was Jennifer Slay. Yeah, I know it's not a big deal, but she said Howie be working, and with a bunch of laughing emojis, and all of a sudden, like, why would she say this, right? And it got a lot of buzz. So usually when she puts up a tweet, most of the time, like if people start like talking or ask her a question or something, she usually answers within the first few tweets. She'll answer a couple people, whatever. She didn't answer nobody after this tweet. She just left this thing alone. Then come to find out, her and Leonard's wife, Kayla, have actually they actually follow each other on Twitter, which is kind of nuts. It's been little things going on today, which is kind of nuts. I'm gonna have a video on some stuff today regarding this news for tomorrow. I'll have an early upload tomorrow for everybody. You know. Liz says Dallas won 4 playoff games since 1996, never in the second round. Damn. It's crazy. It's crazy. Maurice says, hey, what if the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and chose to wear the Kelly Green? Yeah, the problem is they can't do that. I think by rule, they can't do that. They can only wear them twice. I wish that'd be awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen though. Because of the rule, they can't do it because they can only wear these jerseys 2 times this past year. By the way, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. By the way, I should have said that earlier. That's very scumbaggish of me not to, Jake says, Joey, looking at the remaining schedule for both the Cowboys and 49ers, which game is a must win? Well, I mean, the Cowboys have to beat us. That's an important one. The Cowboys have a stretch of games too. Like they still got to play Detroit. They still got to play Miami. Miami's one they definitely got to watch out for. I know Jalen Phillips got hurt. He had an Achilles injury, so they lost a really good edge rusher. I think their safety right now has a knee injury. They have some stretch of games they have to do too. The Eagles have to win the next. I think the Eagles need to win like 2 more games. Honestly, I really want to beat Dallas. I mean, I really want that game done. You know what I mean? If I say 2 out of 3, it's hard for me to say I don't want I really want them to beat Dallas like badly. I don't want them to lose against San Fran either. I think they could beat the Bills on Sunday. San Fran's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be a big, big game before they go into Dallas. Bobby says we have 16 playoff wins, 7 NFC Championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and 1 Super Bowl. Couch Boys, 3 measly playoff wins. See the difference? No. Things aren't going to change in Dallas unless Jerry Jones is like not the owner anymore. I mean, it might even get worse. I mean, it might even get worse with Stephen Jones taking over shit. It was good, man. It was good. Oh, I was in the hospital with my father. My father's been in the hospital for the past like week and a half. So, I literally, my mother actually sent food over, and yeah, I was eating Thanksgiving dinner in the hospital with my dad. So it was different. It was definitely different. No doubt, so I get it. Matt says, let them trolls keep acting like they accomplish big things. It will eventually be their downfall. These guys are stupid, man. Like I ignore most of the shit. And then I see something. I'm just like, man, there'll be Cowboy fans trying to type in like an essay on a comment on YouTube. And I'm just like, dude, do you really want me to read all of this? Because as soon as I get through one sentence, I'm going to think it's complete BS. So Jake said, I think the Cowboys might lose again. So if we beat the Niners, who Dallas lost to, we should win the breaker due to more conference wins. I need to check that actually. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know actually. I have to look. I'll have to look that up. To be honest, I'll have to look that up. Rocksteady says we need depth up front. Fletch is taking way too many snaps. I mean, Fletch is playing good, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to bring in another guy. Dominican Sue is always ready to play more football. You know, might come back to the Eagles for another chance. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's getting better by the day. So that's all that matters. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Chris says, why do they always try to hijack the show? Because they love me. That's why. They love me. And I ain't, and let me tell you, I'm not cocky, I'm not conceited, I ain't nothing on here. I just think it's funny, you know? Um yeah, but it's gonna be crazy. The next day is gonna be kind of nuts. So I'm hoping that there is I don't know. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a change. I mean, something hopefully could happen between tomorrow and I don't know if the Eagles. I think the Eagles have they ever signed somebody on game day? I think they have before. I think the Eagles have actually signed somebody on game day before. I could be wrong, but I forgot who it was, but I could be wrong. I think it's happened before. Um, but we'll see. I appreciate it, guys so much. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much, guys. Means a lot. Means a lot. It's been a crazy like week and a half. It's been really crazy. So been really like doing content has really helped me out just to get my mind off things. So Stingy Fish says I met Jalen Carter the other day and got a pic with him. That's awesome, dude. I wish I could have those moments. Tracy, they could wear alternated 3 times. The Eagles only chose these 2 games for Kelly Green. Oh, so they had so they so yeah, it sucks. Bobby says they just hate to keep it real, bro. They live in the 1995 History Channel bullshit. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Jordan Ward says that Dallas halftime was an epitome of being. Oh, shit, dude. Pat. Oh my god, dude. That Thanksgiving was literally dedicated to the Cowboys. Like that was their day. Like they want to make them feel better that day. Jake said if we lose the Dallas Bills and Jets, we would have only 1 in conference loss where Dallas would have 2. Us and the 49ers so long as we finish with the same record 14-3. Okay. So mm, so how would that yeah, because that's kind of confused me. So if between 49ers and the Eagles, if they have the same record, what happens? They go by division? What do they go by after that? K. Robinson says, yes, we are 6-0 in the conference. They are 5-3. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. The 3 losses. Right. They have 3. Okay, Dallas. Yeah, because they have 3. All right. They lost 3 in the conference. Okay. So that makes sense. So that's all right. That's good news then. That wasn't Dolly Parton. That was Jerry Jones dressed in drag. Oh man. Matt says I love some of Dolly music, but don't love her in that Cowboys uniform supporting that team. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of celebrities are Dallas fans. A lot of them are. A lot of them are. I figure I get my boy Joe on here because maybe he'd know more of the situation. But you know, there's a lot of people that really don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't really know what's going on. So the Eagles put out a statement for Derek Barnett. Like I'm surprised. Well, I'm not really surprised because he obviously Derek Barnett did a lot for the Eagles Super Bowl years. So they said the Eagles organization would like to thank Derek for his contributions to this team over the last 7 seasons. As a rookie, Derek made one of the most memorable plays in our Super Bowl victory over the Patriots. He has been a great teammate who always played with high energy and effort. We wish Derek nothing but the best. Well, he did more than just a super. I mean, yeah, he did more than just a super. I mean, he got the fumble in the Super Bowl, but he did. I mean, he had the Case Keenum strip sack was really nice too. That was a good one. Chris, does DeCastro have any news? Yeah, I haven't. I'm surprised. Like I haven't heard. I didn't message him today because I usually go with him on Mondays, but we had a Monday night game. He couldn't come on the show on Tuesday, so this Monday, hopefully, he'll be back on. And I don't know. By that time, hopefully, we'll know where Leonard signs. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But we'll see. Should be fun though. But yeah, we have 360 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. Hit the like button. Try to get to 200 likes if we can. Um, yeah, it's been a crazy day, but we'll have I'll have a video out tomorrow. We'll have the shakedown tomorrow night, which is good. We'll have a lot of stuff. So be a crazy weekend this weekend, no doubt. Matt says also congrats on the new horror podcast. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, we're starting it Saturday. So I'm pretty excited. Philly John, what's up, dude? Hope you're having a good day, man. Psalmist 60, you have to be over 35 to remember a Dallas Super Bowl appearance. Jake Hunter says, if we beat the 49ers, they have 4 losses, so we could still afford to lose to Bills and Cowboys because if both us and the Cowboys finished 14-3, we would win the tiebreaker with the better conference record. All right, so that works. That I knew, dude. I knew that Arizona game was going to bite them in the ass, and I feel like it's going to bite them in the ass. That Arizona loss is going to fuck them over like really bad. It's gonna mess a lot of shit up for them. Rocksteady says, I didn't hate Barnett, but I know it's mixed feelings, dude, because like he really realistically, he had one good year. And that's it. I mean, that's all he did. Joey, do you play games on P? I do. I only use my. Oh, by the way, I'm selling my PS5. If anybody you could email me or it's pretty much brand new. I just haven't really done much with it. So, oh no, guys, you got to remember something. 49ers own the Eagles. This is a Cowboys fan. Okay, this is a Cowboys fan with a 49er account. You guys got to not fall for that. How the Cowboys are losing next week to Seattle? Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Seattle's starting to not really look too great. I don't know. There's games where they play really good. There's games where I kind of get a little See what happens. Simon says, this is random, but TCM tonight, bro, and I believe Watkins is going to make huge difference second half coming around. Yeah, I think I'm going to jump on for a little bit. And, yeah, dude, like Watkins coming back is great. Like I miss his speed, man. I mean, I miss the speed. The problem I have right now is like he's got to be consistent. Like it's been a bad year for Quez, man. The injuries haven't helped him. His play hasn't really helped him this year. It's been really a bad year. It hasn't been a great year. And he's a free agent after this year. So I don't know. I don't think he's a re-sign candidate. I don't see it happening. I mean, they could re-sign him back, but I'm not really sure. I'm afraid they're going to start using Quez and hopefully for the better good of play. If they start using Quez the second half of this schedule, okay, and then he starts dropping balls. He starts like where Hurts will give him a perfect ball and he drops it, or It's gonna really piss me off. He didn't really play in consistent games. He didn't really play in consistent games last year when he had that grade 2 shoulder sprain, which we found out at the end of the year he had that injury. Okay. That drop in the Super Bowl really annoyed me. It annoyed me that they threw him into that game and he didn't play any consistent games before that Super Bowl. Like he barely played in the NFC Championship. I mean, he was barely even getting reps in a lot of those games. Now, Nick Sirianni likes to put confidence in people. Like, so I get it. I understand it. But, you know, let's see here. What kind? Oh, yeah, it's the digital. I have a digital PS5, and I'm actually putting in. It's the digital PS5. I'm actually putting in a 1 terabyte hard drive that I never even touched. It's brand new in the box. I didn't even install it. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive with it. So I'm kind of looking to get like $300 for it, three to 350 for it. So if anybody's interested, let me know. Email me. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know. What's going on, Blake? Philly said the Super Bowl rematch between the Chiefs and the Eagles averaged 28.9 million viewers on Monday Night Football. That's crazy, dude. It's nuts. Robert says Barnett only stayed here because he was a Howie draft pick. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Pretty much. I feel like when they re-signed him 2 years ago, it just made no fucking sense to me. Like, I still don't know why they even re-signed him. It was just like another feather in the cap. Like, oh, I just re-signed my first round pick. Like again, like that's what I didn't get. I didn't get why they re-signed him 2 years ago. Like, I swear to God, it was the most random thing. Like, me and Philly were on stream one day. Like, he jumped on my free agency stream 2 years ago. I remember when we re-signed. It was weird how it happened at that moment. Like, the gods were like, we need to drop this news right now. But use Watkins like they did Torrey Smith in 17. Torrey Smith didn't even have a big year. Like Torrey Smith, like he only had like a little. Well, he had what? What did Torrey Smith have over like 300 yards? He didn't really have many yards. He really didn't. But okay. Oh, my mic was being weird, or I was making sure it was fine. Rock says I would keep Barnett over Quez Cheese. Bobby says Cowboys lost to the 49ers 3 times in a row, yet they still rode against the Eagles. God damn. Bobby's just like no mercy. Bobby's like no holds barred, no mercy. Matt says, I still don't believe 49ers even have their actual QB. Yeah, we'll see. They got a roster to get it done. That's for a fact. So the Eagles win 2 out of 3 games, should have number 1 seed. It's true. I mean, it sounds like it. If you're telling me what's true with the conference wins and like I said, like I don't want to lose to Dallas. Like I don't want them to just be like, you know what, we could lose this game and still get number 1 seed. Like I still want them to win that game, because really we're looking at these next 3 games. That's it. Because I'm not by the Giants game at home in Philadelphia. I'm not Giants, Arizona Giants. Like I'm not. Like by that time, it should be all done. Rock says Torrey Smith did jack shit, dude. He didn't. What do you mean he did jack shit? He had a touchdown in the NFC Championship game. I mean, he didn't do a lot all year, but he, like Soul said, he stretched out. Torrey would stretch out the field with 1 catch, and then we work underneath. He definitely helped. He got a lot of attention on the field. So I said the 49ers and what you call a system tape of team that any quarterback could win because of the system. 49ers, so you lost to Zach Wilson. Yeah, well, that was weeks ago, bro. That was a long time ago. So I don't even care about that. That was weeks ago. Weeks ago. I mean, nice try, but it's the only loss of the season. You lost to XFL PJ Walker. Smith drew a lot of PI calls. That is true. Charles said Cowboys are getting a little too chirpy. Time for reality soon. Jake said, Joey, you notice how the media keeps shitting on the Dolphins because they can only beat bad teams, yet they act like Dallas is the front runner to win the Super Bowl because of only beating bad teams. Yeah, I actually have noticed that. I've definitely noticed that. I don't know why they. Because dude, that's what happens, man. I feel like the Cowboys are they're only good. Talking about the Cowboys on all these media shows, it just gets them viewership. Like I feel like that's all it does. Trey said Jerry Jones ranked Cowboys Thanksgiving victory above Super Bowl wins. Matt said, did they forget how Kyle choked against Brady in the Super Bowl when he was with Atlanta? Damn. Lamonte says 49ers do not own our Eagles. We bounced the 49ers in title game just like Philly bounced the Niners QB. That's true. Protect your man at all costs. You better have another quarterback on board. Purdy for MVP. QBR in every metric. Oh man, it's gonna be fun, guys. I'm pretty pumped. I'm pumped the fuck up, dude. I'm pumped. Oh, he had over 400 yards. I thought he only had over 300. Okay. Yeah, he didn't have a big touchdown year, but he stretched out the field. Like he got a lot of attention, no doubt. George, the Niners fans lost to the Browns, just like Dallas. I know it's gonna be great, dude. The next couple weeks, like we gotta get the Bills out of the way, though. The Bills, like I'm like, as much as the Eagles are very good when they're trailing, dude. Like I really, really want to at least try and get some separation in this game. Like I really want to get separation in this game and like not feel too comfortable, but at least some comfort to be like, hey, we have one game where we feel a little comfortable, but. Chris with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Chris Dirty says, "Sup, Joey? Prayers for your dad. Did you hear Robert Salah? Robert Salah didn't like Zach Wilson at all. You know, Salah is likely end the coach after season. It doesn't surprise me. They kept starting him and starting him and starting him. Of course, he probably didn't, man. He's not going to tell the media that. You know what I mean? It doesn't surprise me that the truth comes out after he's benched. You know, doesn't surprise me at all. But appreciate it very much, and thank you, Chris." Jarrell Ray said, I like how the media, Danielowski all over San Francisco nuts talking about how they're the best team in the league. The media really hates us. It's true, dude. It's totally true. It just makes us better. It just drives us even more. Greg said, if the criteria was a YouTuber team must have at least 2 Super Bowls wins, I wouldn't know y'all. What? If the criteria was a YouTuber team. So if what the fuck does that? Why? Who? Why? What? What? What does that even fucking matter? A YouTuber team? That's you sound like you're 14, dude. Like get out of here. Get out of here. What the fuck is that? Phil D says Eagles knocked out both QBs. Big reason you pay the D line. Freaking idiot. The fuck? Matt says, at least we didn't make excuses once we lost in the Super Bowl. Nah, I mean, I got to say, they took a lot of accountability in that game. A lot of accountability. When the Niners beat Philly, keep the same energy. All right. I'm always going to be here. You guys won't be here, but I'll always be here. You're only going to be back if the Eagles beat you guys and you're bitching about flags or referees or whatever the hell you guys want to pick out of your asshole. So that's pretty much what happens. Because half of these people pretty much disappear. So, and he'll be one of them. So it doesn't really matter. Jake said, this game versus Bills concerning because it's non-conference team, and we have the 49ers and Cowboys coming up hard not to look over them. We are definitely better than the Bills, but still a tough game. It's still going to be a tough game. Doesn't matter. Because I feel like Josh Allen can still beat you with his arms, still beat you with his legs. Doesn't really matter. But I feel like you could do if you get some pressure on Josh Allen, some bad things can happen for them. Good things can happen with us this game. So we'll see. Terrell said, I believe so as well. I see Julio getting a lot of usage over the next couple of weeks. I guess Penny will play divisional round. Yeah, Penny's not playing. We know that. I don't know. Like Julio's not getting targeted that much. He really hasn't. We've been saying that the past couple of weeks. We've been saying like the past few weeks since he signed. I mean, I know he was here for Dallas week, so I get it. Or before that, sorry. But we haven't really seen Julio involved that much, like too much, or trying to aim at him. But it is what it is. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to end this right now. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate everything today, and just going over the news and just having fun with it. I know it's going to be kind of crazy. Hopefully by tomorrow morning we'll see some news. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see. Yeah, we're doing our thing. So hopefully Shaquille Leonard signs with the Eagles. We'll see more. If it happens, doesn't happen, we'll see. I mean, they're opening something up. Derek Barnett is gone. And yeah, we are good to go. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow with a video. We'll have the shakedown tomorrow night. We'll have the live play-by-play on Sunday versus the Bills. So come check it out. And we'll be busy, ready to go. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you hit the like button as much as possible. I do appreciate it so much. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Peace.